Hello, friends, and welcome into the Cowboys Report presented by BetDSI. I'm your host, Tom Downey. Time now for a little Cowboys Jaguars preview. I think it's going to be a close game. Now, we'll get to my prediction later on in the show, but the Cowboys at home are actually the underdogs in this one by 3 points. The Jags are the favorites, which makes sense because who's the better team? I think we could all agree that Jacksonville is the better football team right now. With that said, I think it's going to be a low-scoring game. A very low over-under, down to 40.5 right now. Jags won't have Fournette. There's some similarities here with the way that these teams are run. Good defenses, questions at quarterback, a ground game that is up and down, but you need to have a good ground game. I think the Cowboys actually match up pretty well with the Jaguars in this one. So get your score predictions, folks, in the comments section. After you do that, DM me on Twitter at WhatGoingDowney with what you think the score will be. If you're the first one to get it right, I'll send you $25. So again, send me your score prediction on Twitter at WhatGoingDowney. All right, time now for some injury reports here for the Cowboys, and quite a few to discuss here. There's actually 12 different guys on the injury report this week. So DeMarcus Lawrence, Tavon, Jameis, and Zeke, they're all listed. They're going to be fine. I'm not overly concerned here about those players. I think they're going to be just fine. Zeke with his knee injury, they're going to be okay. Next up, Taco Charlton, Tyron Smith, Cole Beasley, Chidobe. Taco has his thumb banged up. I think he'll be fine. Tyron's banged up again. He should play. Cole played last week. I'm not concerned about that. Awuzie, though, I'm actually kind of concerned because he missed again. He tried to play through it last week, ended up sitting on the bench later in the game. It was limited earlier this week. That's a good sign. I wouldn't be stunned if the Cowboys tried to give Chidobe an extra week to recover. It's close to 50-50. We'll continue to list that one as questionable, but do monitor that closer to game time. And then Joe Thomas, look, he's not going to play. I don't foresee anything like that. Malik Collins has been banged up with his knee. I think he's close. I wouldn't be surprised if he was able to go. But with David Irvin hopefully playing, you might not necessarily need to rush Collins back. Antwaun Woods, I think, will be fine to go. Sean Lee, by the way, practiced on a Thursday, the first time he's practiced since that re-aggravation of his hamstring injury. I'd lean towards he doesn't play this week, but that he's practicing bumps him up to questionable for me. All right, folks, today's show is brought to you by BetDSI. If you're going to bet on the game, you got to do it with BetDSI. Chatsports.com/bet is the URL. Promo code Cowboys120 gets you a 120% deposit bonus. You are playing with house money if you sign up at chatsports.com/bet and use promo code Cowboys120. All right, time now for some keys to the game. First up, ground game. Where are you? You need to be great every single week if you're going to win football games. Last week against Houston, it was not good enough. You have got to find a way to get the ground game going if you are the Dallas Cowboys. You need Zeke to be better than what he was. You need the offensive line to be better than what it was. This entire Cowboys team is built on the ability to run the football. You better have that happen this week. So, folks, how many rushing yards will Zeke have this week? Let me know in the comments section. I'll put the over-under at 90. How about that? It's a good Jags defense overall. Over-under 90. Let me know what you guys think. All right, next up. You do need a receiver to step up at some point. I don't know if it's Cole Beasley, if it's Gallup, if it's Hearns, if it's a tight end even. You need somebody to win. All right? Dak's distribution is still not that good. Somebody has got to step up and be the guy that gets open, and that can at least scare defenses a little bit. Maybe you give Butler a shot because he's been benched pretty much every game since he signed. Has one snap. That was on the Hail Mary. You got to get a receiver going. I don't care who it is. You've got to get better production from the Cowboys receivers. I take your pick on which one it should be. I lean more towards Cole Beasley because at least I know he can get open. So far, this receiving core has been a disaster. All right, pass rush. Step back up. You pressured Watson very well. Only had the one sack. Thank you, Jalen Smith, for that really touchdown saving one at the end of the second quarter. You should have an advantage here. Your defensive line is very good. Antwaun Woods is going to be able to go. Crawford is going to be able to go. In theory, you're going to have David Irving back this week as well. You have Randy Gregory. The Jags' offensive line is banged up. Randy Gregory and Taco Charlton should have success against what could be a third-string left tackle for Jacksonville. We'll see what happens. You should have multiple sacks against Blake Bortles this week if you're the Dallas Cowboys. And speaking of Bortles, just make him beat you. Blake Bortles is not a good quarterback. He's not good. Stop trying to tell me otherwise, random people out there on the internet. Bortles sucks. He is a bad quarterback. Look at his stats and losses this year. When you try to make Blake Bortles beat you, you typically win. Take away the ground game, don't turn the ball over, stop the run, make him beat you in the air. Because guess what? More often than not, he's not going to. Now, to be fair, I think that's what Jacksonville is saying right now about Dak Prescott. I think I'd rather have Dak than Blake Bortles, though. So make Bortles beat you. I don't think he'll be able to if you take away the run and you don't turn the ball over. And finally, be aggressive. Points are going to be at a premium. This one's going to be a low-scoring game, so be aggressive. That's 7 points, then settling for a field goal or going for it on 4th down. That could be a total game changer there. So be aggressive. As I've said before, I'd rather lose being aggressive than playing to not lose and still finding a way to lose the game. All right, folks, we'll have the highlights for you guys after the Cowboys-Jaguars game ends on our YouTube page. Go to youtube.com/Dallas Cowboys Report. Subscribe today, trying to get to 5K subscribers. We're almost there. We got great coverage there for you, so check it out, youtube.com/Dallas Cowboys Report. All right, on now to the projected depth chart here for the Dallas Cowboys. At quarterback, first up, look, Dak and the offense, they've been better in Week 4. They've been a much better team overall. Or no, scratch that. That doesn't make any sense. Dak has been better in the past. He needs to be better going forward. You're not going to see Cooper Rush. You're not going to see Mike White. You're going to continue to roll with Dak Prescott as your starter, and hopefully he has a better game against a very good Jaguars defense. All right, next up, the halfbacks. All right, Zeke Elliott, Rod Smith, and Olawale, the fullback. All right, Zeke has got to be better this week. Now remember, you don't have Bo Scarborough anymore. I'll make note of this here. He actually signed with Jacksonville on their practice squad, which is not ideal because in theory he still has the Cowboys playbook, or at least has it memorized. But at the same time, the playbook's bad, so you're really not missing out too much on that end either. So I wouldn't be overly concerned about it if I'm the Cowboys losing Scarborough, though I am surprised they picked Chernoff. Anyway, on to the receivers. Cole Beasley, Hearns, Gallup, somebody step up. I don't care who it is. Somebody has got to be better each and every single week because it is not getting the job done. Yeah, Dak needs to be better too. You need a receiver to step up right now. Someone has got to emerge. I don't care who it is. With that in mind, who will lead the Cowboys in receiving yards this week? Let me know in the comments section. I'll lean more towards Cole Beasley, but at this point, it's pretty much throwing a dart at a board because your guess is as good as mine. All right, tight ends now. Well, Rico had his first career catch. That's great for him. Swain, Jarwin's still ahead of him, though, right now on the Cowboys depth chart. Schultz remains inactive. Swain, by the way, has been better than I thought he was going to, but he's still no Jason Witten. All right, on to the Cowboys offensive line depth chart here in just a second. Now, remember, Travis Frederick is actually no longer on the Cowboys depth chart. He has been pulled off it because he's on IR right now. So Tyron Smith, Connor Williams, Joe Looney, Zach Martin, La'el Collins, you got your backups there too. They got to be better. We'll talk more about that later on in a key matchup section, but that offensive line is supposed to be elite. Kind of needs to play like it because right now it has not played like an elite offensive line, and that has been a big, big problem. Now, with that in mind and with that offensive line, how worried are you about it? You know, you don't have Frederick. Sewell's still developing. Tyron Smith is now banged up again and doesn't quite look like himself. Scale of 1 to 10. How worried are you about this Cowboys offensive line? And I guess the scale does matter here because this should be among the best offensive lines in the NFL. The issue is it's playing like an average unit. I'm going to put it at 6 because if it doesn't become elite again, you're going to have a tough time moving the ball at all on offense. All right, on to the D-line depth chart. As we mentioned earlier on in the show, I have high expectations this week for Taco and Randy. They should have success against a bad Jags left tackle. Cameron Robinson's banged up. That tackle depth chart, the offensive line in general is all banged up for Jacksonville. Cowboys should have success up front. All right, on to linebackers now. And again, they're a little thin because Joe Thomas, Sean Lee are both injured. Thomas is going to be out. Sean Lee I don't think will play, but we'll see. Better keep hoping Smith and LV play like they have been. They've been great. That's great news for the Cowboys. Banking on those 7 again, a big, big game. On now to the secondary, where again, there were some changes this week. All right, they brought in C.J. Goodwin. They signed a new safety in Darian Thompson and also cut Abraham Campbell. Awuzie is banged up. I don't know if he plays. If he doesn't, I would assume you'll see Anthony Brown go be cornerback 2. Jordan Lewis then becomes your new nickel guy. So just keep an eye out for that. And if you get really desperate, I could see a scenario where you put Xavier Woods in as your extra nickel guy, like you did a lot last year, and you roll with Heath and Frazier at safety. So just keep an eye out for that if more problems happen in the secondary injury-wise. And then on now to special teams. Nothing's changed. It's the same old, Jeff Easter, your backup guy. Money Maher has been fantastic. That's very good news for the Cowboys as well. So hopefully those guys continue to play well. Maher has made me forget about Dan Bailey. I'll be honest there. All right, folks, if you guys want your own awesome Mizzen and Main shirt, you can get one at comfortable.af. It's the most comfortable shirt you will ever own. Again, they're made in America. It's absolutely perfect for America's team. So check them out at comfortable.af. All right, prediction time. First off, folks, get yours in the comment section. Cowboys versus Jags. What will be the score in this one? Curious what you guys pick. Normally, we all vote for the Cowboys, but they're underdogs this week. And a lot of you are not happy right now with the Cowboys' offense and defense, which is totally understandable. All right, so we'll get to that score prediction, but first I do want to quickly go over here the key matchup for the Dallas Cowboys. It's the Jags front seven versus the Cowboys offensive line. This is a great Jags D-line. All right, Ngakoue, Darius, Jackson, Campbell. Some great depth in Fowler, Taven Bryan, and DeJuan Smoot. And even their linebacking core is also a very, very effective unit. They got a lot of talented guys on there. Miles Jack, Telvin Smith. That's one of the better duos at linebacker in the NFL. Smith's fantastic. Jack is a great player as well. They're going to do everything they can to stop the run against the Cowboys. You're going to see loaded boxes again going forward. So with that in mind, you need to find a way to still have success on the ground. You have got to get your offensive line going. The offensive line has got to be better this week. It's a tough matchup for Dallas. I'm not going to sugarcoat it. But Smith and Sewell and Looney and Martin and Collins have got to open up holes. You cannot have Zeke continuously getting caught in the backfield. That has got to change this week. Hopefully it does, and if it does, maybe the Cowboys can actually pull the upset. All right, folks, so again, the odds via BetDSI. Cowboys are 3-point favorites, and the over-under is only 40.5. So producer Lena is going with the Cowboys 21-20. And I'll be honest, I struggled this week. I wasn't sure which way to go. In the end, I'll go with Jacksonville. 19-17, I think the Cowboys cover the spread. I think it's going to be a very low-scoring game. It's going to be ugly. It'll go down to the wire. But I'm going to go with Jacksonville. I just have a tough time trusting this Cowboys coaching staff right now. Plus, Jacksonville, they've been very good after a loss under Doug Marrone. Again, folks, get your score predictions in the comment section, and then DM me on Twitter. If you're the first one to predict the score correctly on Twitter this week, I'll send you $25. Naturally, it's due before the game. No cheaters out there, okay? So DM me on Twitter at WhatGoingDowney. If you get the score right first, I'll send you $25. And we'll see you guys tomorrow after the game for some Cowboys highlights.